Hi and good morning to you. Happy Sunday for all of you guys out there. Well, we knew at some point, strikes were going to start being handed out, and lo and behold, we've received our first strike. And the reason for that is, according to YouTube, medical misinformation. Can you believe that? I won't mention what exactly the video was that was removed by YouTube for the reasons on medical misinformation grounds, but what I will say is I was talking about something that is soon to be rolled out. I think you can read in between the guidelines of that, and they're saying that it's medical misinformation. I'm a qualified scientist, and one of the disciplines that I am actually qualified to talk about is in biological matters. I've studied at university biology, chemistry, physics, as well as a lot of other topics, and extra levels on top of my actual qualification. So I am more than qualified to talk about such matters, and I felt that when I was talking about these matters, I was talking in a fair way, and what I presented was actually fair. And because of this, I can't really re-mention that, because I'm just fearful now that there'll be another strike, and that means 2 weeks without doing any updates for you guys. So clearly now, as we have discussed before, there is a massive drive to silence people, whether they are talking correctly about these matters or incorrectly. And it shouldn't make any difference, because it is us at the end of the day which should be allowed to make the decision on who we want to listen to and where we want to get our information from. We can all switch on mainstream media these days, and we can hear what these people that work for the likes of these big news media companies are saying about alternative sources of information. They are literally, unfairly going out for us, slandering us, for giving, the average person the freedom of choice and an alternative view on things. Now, there's another reason I think that this could have happened, because I don't think it's by any coincidence that on the 1st of December I also went on to Tony Heller's channel and just inquired as to why he hadn't done a video for a couple of weeks. And now obviously we've found out he has been given 2 warnings. He's had 2 strikes from YouTube, and they've told him that the third one he'll be losing his channel. And he may have already done that, or he may be on his way. But I can tell you now, there are a lot of YouTubers that are bringing facts to the table, just like we do. And our main subject is the magnetic pole shift, but we do talk about other related matters which are equally of importance. But we are being targeted now by not just YouTube but other media groups. And I just want to say that if we do lose the YouTube channel, this, by the way, won't be the first time that this has happened. If you remember, YouTube cunningly slipped us into a position where we could earn. They offered us the opportunity to monetize the channel, and we took it. And from that point on, not one of the videos was viewable. That was the old channel. So this is our second channel, and it has taken some time to build up the subscribers again. And again, we are facing the threat of being pulled. And this is criminal activity. People are earning their livelihoods, so in some cases, in fact, their sole earnings comes from what is raised on YouTube. And when they pull it like that, they take away the person's livelihood as well as everybody's freedom of information. This is, like I said in the video yesterday, we are living in real dire, dark times, and nobody is prepared to work with each other on this. Because if only people realised what was happening, and happening on the rate at which it has been done so for the last few years at least, we know that we have definitely turned a corner. When I say we are back in those days where the Nazis are burning the books and information, we are here today in a modern version watching channels being burned by these companies and no accountability. I am absolutely concerned for everybody right now around the world, because we are not given no longer the choice. They are just blatantly telling us the way it is going to be. And these are the people that are supposed to act in the best interests of us all. And clearly they're acting in the best interests of themselves. We knew this time was going to come. And this time, and I know people don't like it, and that's just tough. If you don't like me hearing, and if you don't like somebody talking about the Holy Bible, then, you know, you're better off clearing off this channel. Alright, because I am a scientist, and I've told many times people that there are some things in that book which defies just mere coincidence. There is absolute synchronicity in what they talk about in that book, and it just requires some people just to pick it up and read it, and you'll get an idea as to what I'm talking about. I'm not the only scientist in history that has been fascinated with the things that are written in that book, and I'll just mention one: Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton spent many hours behind closed doors, and you can research this on the YouTube and on the rest of the web. You can research it. His workings out of what he believed were codings within the Bible, and I can absolutely vouch for what he found and what he talks about and the rest of what he was looking for, because it has not been completely revealed to man. There are so many mysteries in this life, guys. I can just only tell you that it is not by mere coincidence that we are where we are right now. We're on a turning point. You know, I've got a scar in the palm of my hand, and it looks like a shepherd's crook. I will show you guys one day. It stands out sometimes. If I open my hand up wide in the middle, you'll see it stands out like a light in the hand. It's really, compared to the rest of the colour of the skin of the palm of my hand, it really is almost luminous. And I contemplate on that. Not every single day, but I do look at that and I think, you know what? It would be really strange for somebody to walk around with a shepherd's staff in this day and age. Yet, you know, when I look at that, it's almost like a symbol of what I'm supposed to be doing here. You know, I have had people say, Gene, you are definitely a shepherd of modern times, looking out for people. And you know what? I have dedicated a lot of my time, you know, for that very fact of being a watchman for other people. But I've had some strange things that have happened in my life, and I cannot explain them. I can only just tell you guys that, you know, the things that have happened in my life are very strange. What one day me and my father witnessed together, standing side by side in his back garden the one day, was just, to this day, shocking. We saw a sphere the size of about 1 metre in diameter, so it was a large sphere, come in a controlled manner around a tree, and within 10 foot of us, just slowly drifted up, and then over the roof of the house it went and disappeared. And it was pearl in colour. It was like a pearl, a giant pearl. It made no noise. And, you know, to this day, I say to my father, we talk about it sometimes, not all the time, but we knew what we both saw. In fact, you know, the minute we saw it together, I immediately turned around to my dad and I said, did you just see what I just saw? He said, yeah. He said, that ball that just come in front of us and then, you know, went over the roof of the house and disappeared. I said, yeah. I want to tell you what we was looking at prior to this happening. Me and my dad was staring at something very shiny. We thought it was one of these helium balloons, the party balloons, the silver ones, if you get what I mean. At a very distant point, we could just see it sparkling. It looked like a day star. And I turned around to my dad and said, it could be absolutely anything. You know, we just don't know. But one thing I did say is he's on the flight path, because where my father lives, it's quite close to Birmingham International Airport. And I said, one thing for sure is he's on the flight path. You know, so we might see an airplane hit it in a minute. But shortly after that, I think it weren't even a minute after that, this pearl comes from around the tree, like I say, in a controlled manner, about, I don't know, 10 foot off the ground, about 10 foot away from us, very close, up and close, and we both saw it. To this day, I can only speculate, and I have speculated a lot about what that was. And, it's anyone's best guess, really. I will tell you this, it wasn't a weather balloon. Because weather balloons don't move around objects. And usually there is some signs on a weather balloon that it's been, it's got an inflation point on there. We've never seen any of that. And weather balloons don't go over houses avoiding objects. This was being intelligently manoeuvred around these objects, around the tree, over the house. And, you only have my honest account, me telling you that I've saw such a thing and that these things exist. And the only other thing I can bring to your attention of any importance about one other thing that happened in my life would be, the universal equation. And, Scott, you and I know that you took it to work and you let some of them very intelligent people in that department, have a look at that equation. And, I'm not exaggerating. This is just exactly what Scott said. They found it very interesting that, you could put any number into this equation, it would reduce it down to what it does, even a 9 or a 0. And I woke up one morning, guys, with that equation in my head, and I knew I had to write it down straight away. It's not a very complex, algorithmic equation. It's very simple. But when I saw the equation in my head, I knew I had to get out of bed immediately, write it down. And it was a couple of weeks after that I realised its true significance and importance. Because anyone that has ever took 5 minutes out to understand what that equation means will know that this universe certainly goes by a way of a plan. The plan is mathematical, and therefore by intelligent design, and if it's by intelligent design, then it is conscious, and you should know from that point on that there is something out in our universe creating, like we all call God. And it could be any God that you choose, but it could be that very description. Sorry about that, text messages coming in, but it sort of like threw me off my train of thought. But what I'm getting at here, guys, is that there is no mistake. The universe is creating intelligently and therefore is conscious. And for a lot of people that have grasped what I've showed them, it has been for them, that little extra concrete foundation in supporting their faith. Because now, with that equation, they can see clearly that there is something out there in our universe creating consciously. And then, when we just put everything else into perspective, like, the distance the Earth is situated from the sun, the fact that the moon eclipses the sun during a solar eclipse, and the fact that we are at the right distance, that liquid forms on our planet, and if we was closer it'd be too much gas, if it was further away it'd be ice. None of this is coincidence. We've got 9 planets in our solar system, and I know that one of these planets has been up for debate, but I will say something to you. For years our civilizations have been accustomed to knowing information that they possibly couldn't have known at the time, and we only in the last 30 years have found out to be true. I'm talking about the colour of the most planet in our solar system, Pluto. They said and described it, the Sumerians, as a jade green colour. You couldn't see that through a microscope and know that. You could with the Hubble telescope, and like I say, we only confirmed that 30 years ago. They seem to know these things thousands of years ago. How? I've been trying to explain to people, we face at this time of the year one of the most difficult times in raising funds just because of Christmas, but with the pandemic on top of that, you know, it is proven to be really difficult times for us here at the observatory. And, you know, despite mentioning the link on the website, nobody has pressed that link yet. You know, in the last 2 weeks, 14,000 people have passed by it. You know, I've told people that, you know, the information that we provide on an every Wednesday basis, the Earth Health at a Glance, requires the use of our bespoke equipment here at the observatory. And on the 17th or thereabouts every month, we give a location and a current update on the magnetic pole migration, something no other organisation is doing for you guys out there. So you know we are special for what we provide, and you know, it'd just be amazing if we could get a little bit more support at this difficult time of the year. It's as simple as that. You know, I will continue, so long as I am supported, to do so, to get that information out for you. And this is not a time, guys, for us to start relaxing. You know, we are rapidly approaching a point in the future where we will hit 40 degrees, and if the theory stands correct, we'll see something start to migrate a lot faster than what we've been witnessing over the last, you know, few years that we've been following it. Some real big times ahead. As I described, lots of obstacles on this gauntlet. We have hit one already with the pandemic, and we are going to continue to cascade now into all sorts of problems as we go down the road. And I believe that the biggest one that we have to be really concerned of, and really it's a good job we're getting a trial run with the pandemic, because by the time the big one comes along, the magnetic reversal, you know, at least we will have had a little bit of a practice run at it. So, you know, I'll leave you to your Sunday, guys, and you know, hope that, you know, we have encouraged a few more people to stand up and give us some support. And you know, the only other thing to say is what we usually do here. You know, you have an amazing day, you look after your loved ones, and you know, we'll try and keep off the radar with as far as some of the topics that YouTube no longer want us to talk about. And until then, you know, we'll be back hopefully in the week with some more updates on, you know, what we talk about here. So, you know, have an amazing day. Links are down there, guys. You know, come on, we need a few more people to stand up and support what we do here. Okay, as always, bye for now.